friends? How are you doing today? I am doing well, and I have some Kino titles today that finally came in the mail. I pre-ordered them from Kino, and I waited, and I checked the mailboxes, and I waited again, and I went to Kino, and I contacted Kino to see if they were gonna ship yet. And like what Kino does is Kino, you make the you place your order on Kino, and they will not ship your total order until every single thing is in stock. So you might end up waiting months and months and months, because if you order one on pre-order and then it doesn't come out until July, and then the next one doesn't come out till August, and the next one doesn't come out till September, they won't ship them until they send all three in September or whatever. So this was one of those situations where I ordered them and I had to wait months and months and months to get them. And I got them, and I'm happy to add them to my collection, because Kino, if you don't know Kino, Kino Lorber, Kino Kino, you know what I'm talking about. They release very obscure, strange movies that you have not seen in years, stuff that you have probably saw as a child or saw years ago, and you want these titles in your collection, but they haven't gotten any kind of release. They haven't gotten a DVD release. They haven't gotten a Blu-ray release. Some of them have DVD releases, but you're waiting for that upgraded Blu-ray quality. And Kino does a great job cleaning things up, but you don't get a lot of special features in a Kino release. But if you're just a fan of the movie, that's good enough for me. So these, what was that? These are the three titles that I picked up from Kino. I was happy to get them in the mail, and I'm going to share them with you. And the first one is a movie called Take This Job and Shove It. Yes, this was a David Allan Coe song that was turned into a movie. And I know you're all looking at me like, hey, David Allan Coe, I didn't even know who David Allan Coe. Listen, I listen to all kinds of, I'm a media collector, I'm a movie collector, I'm a music collector. I know who David Allan Coe is. And yes, this was his song, and they turned it into a movie. And this is a really good movie. If you have never seen Take This Job and Shove, it's about this guy who has left his town. He's made it in the big time. He's working for a big name brewery, and he's like the head honcho there. Well, they tell him, well, he's gonna go back to his old small town, and the brewery that's over there needs to be upgraded, and they need to downsize, and they need to cut some corners, and they need to stop making some money at the brewery. So they send him back to his hometown. Well, all of his friends and stuff that he grew up with, they're all working at the brewery, because that's like the main, that's like the lifeline of their little community, their little town or whatever. And of course, he goes back there, and they're looking at him not as the big man there, not as the big honcho, but as their best friend. Well, he's got an agenda, and his friends are a bunch of alcoholic goofballs, you know what I mean? And they're not happy with the fact that he's got the money, and he's trying to improve on their place, their franchise. If that would be called the brewery franchise, they're part of the group. So he goes in there, he starts laying people off. He starts changing their jobs. People that have been working in the bottling area are now working over in shipping, and which messes things up, because some of these people can't read. I mean, now this movie kind of is kind of one of these near and dear to my heart types, because I worked in a mill. I worked in a mill for a lot of years. I worked with men that could not read. I worked with men that this is all that they knew. If they worked on a line somewhere, that's all that they knew. They didn't know anything. They might have come to this country at a certain age, and they in order to take care of their mother and father, whatever, they had to go to work. I mean, we're talking go to work at like 16 years old, and all they did from 16 until the day that they died, it was this job, and that's all that they knew. So this kind of it kind of sets me back to that feeling, of working with people like this, and it's like you do a job for 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, and then somebody comes in and says, oh, we want you to go do something else. There's no, I mean, it's and that's kind of what this was about. This was about a company that was going under, and this guy's fighting to try to bring it back, meanwhile trying to keep peace within his former friends and family and stuff that had been working at this brewery for years. It's a comedy. It's got Art Connie in it too. Robert Hayes, Barbara Hershey. I'm saying Art Connie because Art Connie, who's stuck in my head, he plays like the manager of the brewery. This is it's a comedy. I'll classify it as a comedy drama type thing. It has some drama elements, has some comedy elements. I'm pretty sure they specify this in the comedy. It also has some love story, romance type stuff going on in it too. So it's got a little bit of everything. It's a classic 1980. It came out in 1981, but it's a classic 80s comedy type movie. Like it's one of those that you put in if you're around that age, you get that nostalgic feel, and that's why I grabbed this Kino title. So Take This Job and Shove It, now available on Blu-ray. Next one is, okay, this is one that used to be on, I think it was Cinemax all the time, and I can remember it very vaguely. Okay, so I vaguely remember it, but as soon as I saw the title, I was like, that's that movie, you know. And sometimes that happens. You know, sometimes you find you don't think about a movie for a long time, but then all of a sudden you see it on the list of things that are coming out, and you're like, wow, you know, that I remember that movie. You know, I want to see that movie again. And this is one of them. This is a movie called Honky-Tonk Freeway. And perfectly honest with you, I mean, I could read the back and tell you what the story was, but if I remember correctly, it was about this guy that's trying to commercialize this freeway. I mean, I don't want to give you false information, so I haven't seen it in a long time, but he keeps coming up with these different schemes on how to bring people into town. I think he has a water, is it a water skiing elephant? Yeah, it shows on the back. What? It's a water skiing elephant. He does different things to try to bring these people into the town or whatever. And I remember this being a good movie. It was one of them that when you're younger, you're watching it and you're like, why am I watching this? You don't really understand the jokes. You don't really want to understand the humor because you're too young to understand the humor. But to watch it again, I mean, I remember back in the day, my father used to make me watch Cheech and Chong movies over and over and over and over again. Cheech and Chong movies over, and I did not understand any of the Cheech and Chong humor. I mean, there was a few things that were funny, you know, when he goes the first gear, second gear, you know, and it was the licenses back there on the plate. But I never understood that these people were high. I never understood what was going on. And as you get older, the comedy, you understand the comedy, and it becomes funny. Now I'm like a Cheech and Chong super fan, you know what I mean? It's like I love Cheech and Chong, but back in the day, you watch and you don't really understand the humor or the comedy. This is one of them. I wanted to go back, revisit this, because I remember it being very enjoyable as a kid and being like, but I was probably more in awe of the water skiing elephant or the rhino, or, you look at the cover and it's like, yeah, it's one of those things. So, Honky-Tonk Freeway, now available on Kino. And it might be one of those things, like, I'm thinking, Take This Job and Shove It. And that movie, eventually they're going to go out. Kino titles tend to go out of print. So you might want to grab them when you can. And the last one is a movie I've never seen before. Never seen it. It was in the Kino releases of coming soon. I read a little bit about it. I read who was in it. And as soon as I found out who was in it, that's what sold it. Okay, that's what sold it for me. It's a movie called Body Slam. And why did I buy this? Let me see. Because it stars Roddy Piper, Captain Lou Albano, and Barry Gordon. Okay, also stars Dirk Benedict and Tanya Roberts. Now, Dirk Benedict is Face Man from the A-Team. You know, I mean, I was a big A-Team fan, but I was not really a big Face Man fan. I was more of a Mr. T fan or a Murdoch fan. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, I know he's the star of the film, but that's not what sold it for me. Is Captain Lou Albano and Roddy Piper. I mean, anything Roddy Piper, that's a no-brainer. I mean, I got that Frogtown movie from Roddy Piper. I got the They Live from Roddy Piper. I got a couple other Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper was and is and will always be my absolute favorite wrestler. He was like the man. I mean, he was just charismatic and funny and out of control, and he just reminded me a lot of myself, or what I feel like my persona in my brain is. You know what I mean? So I saw this, but I don't know if it's a wrestling movie. I don't know anything about this movie. I know that it stars them, and that's why I bought it. I mean, it's a movie called Body Slam. And with that said, my friend, that's the end of my Kino pickups that finally came in. 3 titles: Take This Job and Shove It, Honky-Tonk Freeway, and Body Slam. Like I said, Kino is kind of up and down. I mean, they go out of print and they don't come back. So one of these 3 titles might be something that you've been looking for. I got a big Kino drop a couple months ago. I was really excited about. Had Cool as Ice in it and stuff like that. once again, I think those are things that are going to drop off the radar. I know that Vanilla Ice / Robert Van Winkle is not going to support Cool as Ice in any way, shape, or form. So I'm thinking eventually that's just going to disappear. But these movies might also. So anyway, Kino's got them. You should get them. Check it out on their website. If you don't want to get on the website, these are all sold on Amazon right now. If you want to pay crazy prices, you can go on eBay and buy them from the flippers, because they're jacking them up for twice the price of what they're actually worth. But they are great movies. Parts of your childhood or whatever, you want to add that to your collection. So get on there, start ordering, and please do me a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you later.